Buying a foreign property, what to watch out for? A lot of my clients are asking me, hey Diana, does it make sense to buy a foreign property now that Singapore property prices have went up so much? Now, this is my reply to them. So actually there's a lot of considerations when it comes to foreign properties. So I've been studying a few countries on my own and trying to decide whether it makes sense or not. So what I observe is this. Number one is that the mode of ownership in many different countries differ from each other. So for example, in Singapore, foreigners are not allowed to own land. Likewise for many Asian countries, but places such as the UK, they do allow you to purchase land under certain conditions. So you do have to check out the regulations in the country. The next thing is also in terms of loan restrictions. All the different countries will have different regulations once again. Some countries, they'll charge you a higher interest rate for a loan for properties itself. So you do need to check out the rates that's accurate for foreigners. So some of my other concerns when it comes to investing in other countries is in terms of political risk. How stable is the country? How likely are things to change very suddenly if the political party currently is being overthrown, for example? And also another consideration I have is in terms of the foreign exchange rate. Now, foreign exchange rate for different countries differ very much. So one of the examples that I have is, for example, in terms of Indonesian rupiah. At some point, I started thinking, maybe it's a good idea to buy Indonesian property because the property prices are low and they get really good rental use, up to about 10% sometimes or even more. But the problem is the foreign exchange rate here is so poor. Singapore dollar has always been stronger, so whatever capital gains that I would have made on the property itself would have been eliminated because of the exchange rate. And for me wise, some of the countries I would not touch at all is because I feel that the FX exchange rate is too risky. Then the other thing that a lot of people did not consider, because Singapore do not have these two taxes, is the capital gain tax and the inheritance tax. So in countries such as France, it can go as high as 60%. So every country will have their own policies, and again, it could change according to the acting party at that point of time. So some other costs that you want to consider is also things like management fees, because you're not in the country itself. You do need somebody to be there, to be your eyes as well as your legs and your hands to manage the property. So these management fees could come out to a significant amount, eroding your profits. The other two things that I consider is also in terms of how transparent the market is. Are we able to get data easily like what you can in Singapore? Because everything here is online. You may not be able to find the same data overseas as you would in Singapore. So last item would be the legal risk. So sometimes, especially when it's in a foreign language, there could be some legal implications that you're not aware of because it does not exist in our country. So these are some of the considerations that you want to think about, some of the questions that you may want to ask the person who's selling you the international property. So I wish you all the best on your journey. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact us at The Property Runway. See you soon!